हेलो, हाय एवरीवन, आई होप यू ऑल आर डूइंग गुड। सो अभी तक हम लोग लॉज में क्रिमिनल लॉ स्टार्ट करने के बाद क्राइम्स अगेंस्ट प्रॉपर्टी, क्राइम्स अगेंस्ट ह्यूमन बॉडी, some basic differences between civil law, criminal law, and all the basic topics which have to be covered for criminal laws, वो सब कुछ अभी cover कर चुके हैं. Today we will be starting with miscellaneous laws, right? We will be starting with miscellaneous crimes, right? So now miscellaneous crimes कौन से हैं? So now the crimes which do not fall into the other categories which we've already discussed, they become a part of miscellaneous crimes. So let's just begin. So first crime that we are going to talk about is public nuisance. So now what is public nuisance? As the word itself will be clear to many of you, it means it is given under section 268 of IPC, and this is the definition: an act or illegal omission, right? कुछ नहीं किया या कुछ किया है जो कॉमन इंजरी कॉज कर रहा है, डेंजर कॉज कर रहा है, अनॉयंस कॉज कर रहा है टू द पीपल और पब्लिक इन जनरल हु ऑक्यूपाई प्रॉपर्टी और यूज पब्लिक राइट्स, राइट? व्हाट आर द एसेंशियल्स हियर? एसेंशियल्स आर देयर मस्ट बी एन एक्ट और ओमिशन. Second, it must cause annoyance or harm to the public at large. And lastly, it affects the health, safety, convenience or comfort of the people, right? Now, I have a question here. Let's say there is a protest going on, and all of a sudden the people start vandalizing the public property. Will it be a part of public nuisance or not? अगर let's say कुछ लोग protest कर रहे हैं, and जब वो लोग protest कर रहे हैं तब वो public property की तोड़फोड़ शुरू कर देते हैं, will they be charged with public nuisance or not? These are the points in front of you, and you have to tell me whether it is public nuisance or not. You have to type down in the comment section below, right? Now, here we have an example, which is a person dumps chemical waste into a river flowing through a town, making the water unusable. तो हमने जैसे अभी डिस्कस करा, यहाँ पे कंफर्ट लेवल या फिर कन्वीनियंस में लॉस हुआ है of whom? Of people, and an act has been done, right? And when all these essentials are there, it forms public nuisance, right? I hope that is clear. And what is the punishment? Section 290 of IPC talks about the punishment, which is fine up to rupees 200, right? I hope this is clear. Now, moving ahead to obscene acts and songs. Obscenity को हम कैसे define करते हैं? For me, something might be obscene, but for the other person, something might not be obscene, right? So how do we define obscenity is a big question here. Now, section 294 of IPC talks about obscene acts and songs. So whoever does any obscene act in public place or sings, recites or utters any obscene song, ballad or words in or near any public place, he or she is said to have committed this wrongful act. So here are the essentials. Number one, there must be an obscene act or words used. The act must occur in or near a public place. Then intention is immaterial here. Impact is what matters, right? Let's say me and my friends are casually walking around in a public park, and all of a sudden I start abusing my friend or using wrong words for him or her. Will that amount to obscene act and songs? Think about it. What is obscene act? Does any obscene act in the public place, sings, recites or utters any obscene song, ballad or words? So hence abuses their words, it will come under this act and it will be punishable under this act. I hope it is clear to you. Now, this is what you need to remember here, and the most important point here is that the intention is immaterial. Me and my friend, we have consented to each other that okay, we can talk to each other in any which way, right? But अगर मैं public arena में हूँ कहीं पे या फिर कहीं भी ऐसी जगह पे हूँ which is used by the public at large और वहाँ पे मैं use कर रही हूँ ऐसी language, तो it will amount to an offense, right? I hope that is clear to everyone. Here is an example given to us. Singing sexually explicit lyrics loudly in a public park will lead to an imprisonment up to 3 months or fine or both. Right? I hope that is clear to everyone. I hope nobody has a doubt in it. Now, next is forgery. What do we mean by forgery and what is the offense of forgery? So what is forgery? Section 463 of IPC talks about forgery. And what is the definition? Making any false document or a part of it with, कोई भी false document बनाना या किसी भी document के किसी भी part को falsify करना या फिर किसी भी गलत तरीके से बनाना, गलत document को बनाना with the intent to cause damage or injury, with the intent to support a claim or title, intent to cause someone to part with property or to commit fraud. Right? अब यहाँ पे एक question है, the students जो स्कूल से ऑफ लेते हैं एंड उसके बाद मेडिकल सर्टिफिकेट्स बनवाते हैं फ्रॉम देयर नियर एंड डियर वंस, क्या वो फॉर्जरी है या नहीं है? दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. लेट्स से दिस इज ए, he did not go to the school for let's say 15 days and now he comes up with a false certificate saying that he had broken his bone, right? False medical certificate बनवाता है वो. Will it amount to forgery or not is the question for you guys. You have to comment down in the comment section below. Right? Now, what are the essentials here? Making a false document. Explained in section 464, right? Dishonest or fraudulent intention. So, here you need to remember that even though you're not committing any fraud, right? But even though there is no fraud being committed, if your intention is merely dishonest, सिर्फ dishonesty है, बेईमानी है आपका जो intention है उसमें, तो it will be an essential here. The act should relate to deceiving someone. Deceiving का मतलब कि अगला इंसान आपकी बात को मान रहा है. Till the time the other person is not deceived by it, it won't amount to forgery. Right? Let's say मैंने अपना birth certificate, right, अपने birth certificate को बनवाया, right? I just got a false birth certificate for myself wherein my age was turned down to 18, right? And I used that birth certificate to take part in one of the events wherein the participant's age was limited to that of a participant who is 21 years of age, right? So I fall in that category कि upper limit है 21, so I am 18 and I can participate in it, right? Later on, the authorities get to know about it and they sue me for forgery. Will I be charged for it? Yes, I will be charged for forgery as well, because here just because मैंने उनको वो age certificate दिखाया, they were deceived and they allowed me to participate in it. And this happens in some of the events, some of the sports events, this happens, some of the other events also it might happen, right? So this will be a fit case of forgery. So what are the essentials here? सबसे पहले एक false document होना जरूरी है जो dishonestly या fraudulent intent के साथ बनाया गया हो और जिसका main motive हो to deceive someone. Right? Now, what are the examples here? Signing another person's name on a property sale deed to grab their land. Right? So this is what it is. Next, what is the punishment here? The punishment is up to 2 years or fine or both. Right? I hope this is clear to you. Right? Now we'll move ahead to the fourth one. Okay, so here we'll talk about counterfeiting currency. Right? And government stamps. So now most of us know कि अगर आपने government currency को घर पे बनाया, let's say not even घर पे कोई नहीं बनाता, right? Let's say you have planned that you will create currency, fake currency, or you will create fake stamps, right? तो क्या उसके लिए कोई punishment आपको मिल सकती है, or is it a criminal offense or a civil offense? It is a criminal offense under IPC. Right? So section 489A of IPC, it talks about counterfeiting currency notes or banknotes. Right? And what is the definition here? Counterfeiting or knowingly performing any part of the process of the counterfeiting currency notes or banknotes. And what are the essentials here? Number one, making or helping to make fake currency. Number two, knowledge and intent to defraud. जहां पे आप फेक करेंसी बना रहे हो with the intention कि आप इससे किसी को डिफ्रॉड कर सकते हो, या with the knowledge कि इससे कोई डिफ्रॉड हो सकता है. So here the words used are knowledge and intention, which means कि आपको knowledge भी, आपको पता भी है और आपका intention भी है. I'll give an example here. Right? Now, let's say this is A and this is B. They both are very good friends. Right? B ने एक दिन A को बोला कि you send me the print. B works in a bank, right? B को A ने बोला he works in a bank. A ने बोला you send me the printout of a 20 rupee note. ठीक है, इसने उसको भेज दिया कि this is how a 20 rupee note should look like. Now A started making his own currency at home. Notes बनाने शुरू कर दिए. Right? B had no knowledge कि उससे प्रिंट आउट किस लिए मांगा गया है. Now the question arises, has B also participated in such an act which is counterfeiting the currency or not? So here B has not participated. Why? Because he had no knowledge and no intent to defraud anyone. Moreover, he was not helping in making fake currency. He was rather helping his friend to know how exactly does the note look like. Right? I hope that is clear to everyone. Now, what printing counterfeit, that is rupees 500 notes in a hidden press, that will amount to counterfeit. Right? What is the punishment here? The punishment is imprisonment for life or up to 10 years and fine. Right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Now, moving ahead to the next one, which is criminal intimidation. Now, what do we mean by intimidation? Intimidation मतलब किसी को डराना धमकाना, right? या किसी को बहुत ज़्यादा तंग करना, right? That is intimidation. डराना, किसी को धमकाना, right? So what is criminal intimidation? Section 503 of IPC talks about criminal intimidation. Now what is the definition here? Threatening any person with injury to body, reputation or property, or to cause alarm, to compel them to do or not to do any act legally bound to do, right? And what are the essentials here? Number one, threat of injury is there. Second, intention to cause alarm or compel actions. Here the word uses alarm. तो इनमें से कोई दो एक चीज, right? For example, A calls me up, A calls B up, ठीक है, saying that you have to send me your nude photographs, otherwise I'll come to your house and tell your parents that you have a boyfriend. Right? So what is A doing here? A ने B को कहा कि आप मुझे अपनी न्यूड फोटोग्राफ्स भेजो, अदरवाइज मैं आपके घर आके आपके पेरेंट्स को बताऊंगा that you are involved with someone. Right? So B gets threatened and she sends the photographs to A. Later on, she charges A with criminal intimidation. Is this criminal intimidation? Yes, it is criminal intimidation. Why? Because there was a harm to her reputation, right? And for that, and what happened then? She was compelled to do something which she otherwise wouldn't have done, right? An act not bound to do, right? So she is not bound to legally send him any pictures, right? So that is why this will be a fit case of criminal intimidation. I hope that is clear to everyone, right? Next, I have a question here. A calls B saying that you have to go to C's house and you have to bring C's gold, that is, you have to go to C's house and without C's permission or without C's consent, you have to get C's gold from her house, right? Otherwise, I will kill D, who is your brother. In this case, such a call, will it amount to criminal intimidation or not? Yes or no? A ने B को कहा कि आप C के घर से उसका जितना भी गोल्ड आपको मिलता है आप उसकी परमिशन के बिना लेके आओ, राइट? अदरवाइज मैं आपके भाई को मार दूंगा, राइट? सो क्या यहाँ पे A can be charged for criminal intimidation? Yes or no? This is the question. Think about it and answer in the chat box. Now, answer what is the punishment here? The punishment here is given under section 506 of IPC, and it says that there has to be an imprisonment of 2 years or fine or both. Any of these, right? Now, next is mischief. What is mischief? Now, most of the times when I teach mischief, students say, ma'am, mischief का मतलब होता है बदमाशी, right? बदमाशी तो बच्चे भी करते हैं. So how is it an offense? How is it a criminal offense? Let's just see. So mischief has been talked about under section 425 of IPC, right? And the definition here is causing destruction of property or any change that diminishes its value or with the intent to cause wrongful loss or damage. Now, here are the essentials. Number 1, intention और knowledge होना जरूरी है. या इंटेंशन हो या आपको नॉलेज हो कि आपके एक्ट से कोई डिस्ट्रक्शन हो सकती है या डैमेज हो सकता है, रिजल्टिंग इन रॉन्गफुल लॉस. आई गिव एन एग्जांपल हियर. दिस इज ए, दिस इज बी. दे आर वेरी गुड फ्रेंड्स, राइट? एंड दिस इज सी, हु इज अ प्रोफेसर इन अ कॉलेज. नाउ सी, बीइंग A and B's professor, he asks a question to B which B is not able to answer. अब क्या होता है कि ये B को बहुत ज़्यादा सुनाते हैं उस दिन, that you don't study, you do not put in efforts and all those things. So here what happens is that A, being a very good friend of B, decides कि अब तो हम प्रोफेसर को बताएंगे, अब तो हम बदला लेंगे, right? Very realistic, right? So now they decide कि हम प्रोफेसर को बताएंगे, हम बदला लेंगे. What they do is they simply go to the professor's हाउस एंड उसकी ना बाहर कार पार्क होती है. सो व्हाट दे सिंपली डू इज कि वो उसकी कार को पिंक पेंट करके आ जाते हैं, राइट? द कार वाज ओरिजिनली सिल्वर इन कलर एंड उसको पिंक पेंट करके आ जाते हैं. नाउ द प्रोफेसर गेट्स टू नो एंड ही फाइल्स अ कंप्लेंट अगेंस्ट A and B चार्जिंग देम फॉर मिस्चिफ. अब ये बताओ, will it fit here? Will the case fit here for mischief or not? चलो, let's just see the essentials. सबसे पहले तो there was intention here, right? There was intention. Second, there was destruction or damage. Damage, destruction नहीं भी था तो damage तो था ना property को. Why? Property कौन सी थी यहाँ पे? The car. What was the damage here? Damage was a change in the color, right? And was there a wrongful loss? Yes. The value of the car got depreciated due to that, right? Hence, it will amount to mischief. Breaking someone's shop window out of revenge, right? Even that will amount to mischief. Now, what is the punishment for mischief? The punishment is given under section 426 of IPC, and it is imprisonment up to 3 months or fine or both. Right? I hope this is clear. Now, moving ahead to cheating. What is cheating? चलो, you guys define what is cheating. सबको पता है चीटिंग क्या होती है. सबने लाइफ में कभी ना कभी चीटिंग करी है. मैंने खुद कभी ना कभी चीटिंग करी होगी, इन द एग्जाम में भी, राइट? सो एग्जाम से हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं व्हाट एग्जैक्टली चीटिंग इज. सो सेक्शन 415 ऑफ IPC टॉक्स अबाउट चीटिंग. नाउ व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन? डिसीविंग एनी पर्सन. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ डिसीविंग? किसी को बेवकूफ बनाना, right? बेवकूफ बनाना is deceiving. Deceiving any person fraudulently by using fraud or dishonestly, गलत तरीके से. Inducing them to deliver property. Inducing का मतलब होता है force करना, forcing, right? Forcing them to deliver property. I'm so sorry. Forcing them to deliver property, right? Or to do or omit to do anything. To do or to omit to do anything which they would not have done otherwise, right? Now, I'll give you a clear case here. यहाँ पे essentials है deception, inducement, damage और harm. Now, you need to remember कि ये जो damage और harm है ये आपकी body, आपकी property, आपके mind, रेपुटेशन, कुछ भी हो सकता है, राइट? एंड ऑल्सो इट इज नॉट not only for you but for any person whom you have interest in. By interest I mean any person who's related to you, maybe a family member, maybe a friend or a near or dear one, right? So यहाँ पे I'll give you an example. Let's say ये example ले लेते हैं. Pretending to be an officer collecting donations for disaster relief and pocketing the money, right? अब मैंने pretend किया that I am an officer, right? And I collected money from everywhere saying कि ये money जो है मैंने disaster relief के लिए आपसे कलेक्ट किया है. Now I simply keep that money to myself and I just fly away, right? So what have I done here? I have simply cheated people. Why? Because I have used deception, because I told them that I am an officer, right? And using the fraudulent means, I have induced them to give me money or deliver property to me. So delivery of property is very important, right? Or to do or omit to do anything which they otherwise wouldn't have done. They otherwise wouldn't have given me money, right? But just because it was a disaster relief fund, they gave me money, right? Hence, it is a fit case of cheating, right? I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear to everyone, right? So let's just move ahead and let's just see what is the punishment for it. So the punishment for cheating is given under section 417 of IPC, and it is imprisonment up to 1 year or fine or both, right? Now, next is adultery. Now, we know that adultery is no more a crime, right? अब adultery होता क्या था? Let's say there is a married woman, right? और उस married woman का किसी third person के साथ, apart from her husband, she has extramarital affairs with a man, right? Now, adultery का जो charge था, ये उस man पे लगता था जिसके साथ उस lady का affair होता था या extramarital affair होता था, right? एक married woman का अगर किसी male के साथ कोई भी extramarital relation है, तो उस man पे charges लगते थे for adultery. Right? So section 497 of IPC used to talk about adultery, right? And it was struck down by the Supreme Court in 2017. Why? Because क्या women की गलती नहीं है that even after being married, she has an extramarital affair with another man. So here the woman is also equally wrong. So why only charge the men? Right? So here, earlier, made it an offense for a man to have sexual relations with another man's wife, that too without consent. यहाँ पे without consent का क्या मतलब है? What do we mean by without consent? Without consent of whom? Without the consent of the husband of the woman. Right now, most of the people will feel, "Ma'am, ये कितना peculiar है? Why would a husband allow his or her wife, his wife, to have sexual relations with another man?" Right? But this is what the case was, that earlier it was made an offense for a man to have sexual relations with another man's wife without the consent. No longer an offense, but remains a civil ground for divorce. Right? It is no more an offense. Now, if the woman has extramarital affair with another man, the man won't be charged with adultery. Why? Because it is no more a criminal offense. But of course, it can be a ground for divorce, and if the husband gets to know about it, he can file for a divorce as it is a fit ground for divorce, right? A man having consensual relations with a married woman, right? This is A, she is married to B, right? One fine day, B gets to know that A has sexual relations with D. Now, earlier, D would have been charged with the with adultery, right? I hope this is clear. But now, as adultery is no more a criminal offense, this is no more an offense, right? So he won't be charged for adultery. Next is defamation. I hope adultery is clear to everyone. Now let's just talk about defamation. What is defamation? Defame करना किसी को. That is defamation. Very easy, right? Section 499 of IPC talks about defamation. And defamation is both a civil as well as a criminal offense. Right? Defamation के लिए आप compensation भी demand कर सकते हो, and obviously you can go for imprisonment as well, right? What is the definition here? What is the definition here? I'm so sorry, right? So making or publishing any imputation about a person intending to harm the reputation. अब यहाँ पे important word है publishing or making, right? Now imputation made or published. What do I mean by that? Imputation का मतलब होता है कुछ भी false बोलना, right? Anything which is false and fabricated. When you speak something false and fabricated about a person, not only speak, publish. Publish means to make it known to a third person, right? That is known as publication. When the third person gets to know about it, right? That is known as publication. Now with the intention or knowledge to harm the reputation of the person, right? Must lower moral or intellectual character of the person in the eyes of the other, in the estimation of the other. I'll give you an example here. See, ये है A. He is an author. He is an author. He wrote a book wherein he criticized the government and the policies of the government, right? And he wrote a book. This book got published. Now the head of that government sued A, saying that he has defamed our government. Will A be held liable here for defamation? No, A will not be liable here. Why? Because mere criticism is never defamation, right? Mere criticism is never defamation. Why? Because that is a viewpoint. And viewpoint of a person, it is on the other person to decide whether the viewpoint is correct or not, right? तो यहाँ पे ये वाला जो point है कि दूसरों की नजर में आपको गिराना, तो वो तो दूसरों पे डिपेंड करता है ना, whether they want to listen to your viewpoint or not, right? Now I have an example here. This is A. He is a gossip monger, right? Gossip monger कौन होते हैं? Who have this habit of gossiping about the others. Right? A goes to a party thrown by B wherein all his friends are there. 50 other people are there. A once talks to B about something and all of a sudden starts announcing that B has an extramarital affair with his friend C. Right? C gets infuriated and he sues A for defamation. Is it a fit case of defamation? Is it a fit case of defamation? Yes, it is a fit case of defamation. Why? Because everybody, apart from B and A, there are 50 others who've heard him say that, and this has led to a loss in the reputation of B. I hope that is clear. Now, what is important here is imputation should be made, right? Any false statement should be made about the person here, right? Then, and that false statement should harm the reputation of the person, right? That is the petitioner's or the plaintiff's reputation should be harmed, right? With the intention or knowledge to harm the reputation of the plaintiff, right? Must lower moral or intellectual character of the person. If all these essentials are there, it is a fit case of defamation. Now, publishing a false article accusing someone of theft, right? आप यहाँ पे accuse कर रहे हो, आप अपना viewpoint नहीं दे रहे हो. Accuse का मतलब allegations लगा रहे हो किसी पे, right? So this will be a fit case of defamation, right? I have to tell you guys here कि defamation में ना दो चीजें पढ़नी जरूरी हैं. One is slander and the other is libel. You have to remember it this way. L means long term. ऐसे शॉर्ट टर्म याद रखना. सो एनी ट्रांजिएंट फॉर्म, जैसे कि वर्ड स्पोकन, अभी आपने कुछ सुना वो खत्म हो गया वहां पे. सो कोई भी ट्रांजिएंट फॉर्म है ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन वो होगा स्लैंडर. एंड अगर लॉन्ग टर्म में जैसे विद वर्ड्स रिटन और विद वर्ड्स पब्लिश्ड या फिर वर्ड्स रिकॉर्डेड और समथिंग रिकॉर्डेड अगर आपने कुछ कहा है, दैट विल लीड टू लाइबल. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन. दैट इज लॉन्ग टर्म. Defamation is clear. Now, what is the punishment for it? It is mentioned under section 500 of IPC and imprisonment up to 2 years or with fine or both. Right? Now next is affray. What do we mean by affray? Section 159 of IPC talks about affray. When 2 or more persons, so what is the minimum requirement? 2 people fighting in a public place disturb public peace. Right? So see, there is nobody who fights with himself. Right? So minimum 2 people are required for a fight. So let's say all of a sudden A is driving and he bangs into B's car due to heavy traffic. B comes out and he starts fighting with A. Now there are 2 people fighting on the road, right? So fight between at least 2 persons occurs in public place. Road kya hai? Public place hai. Disturbs public peace. Just because the others are not able to go, right? आगे नहीं जा रहे हैं. So here simply the 2 people can be charged for affray. So 2 groups brawling in a market. Brawling means fighting in a market. They can be charged for affray. Right? And what is the punishment? Punishment is up to 1 month or with fine of 100 or both. Next we have is a criminal breach of contract of service. Right? So now what is the definition? A person lawfully bound to attend or care for another deserting such person. Right? जहाँ पे आपकी ये ड्यूटी है, you are bound to give your services or to attend to the other person, but there you don't do that and you are deserting a person, that is you are fleeing away from the place. That is what is known as criminal breach of contract of service. For example, a nurse contracted to take care of a sick patient deserted them without notice. Right? So यहाँ पे जब हमारे सर्विस नोटिसेस होते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू जॉइन एन ऑफिस, तो वहाँ पे एक नोटिस पीरियड होता है. राइट? इफ यू डोंट सर्व दैट नोटिस पीरियड इवन देन देयर इज अ ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सर्विस. Right? Criminal breach of contract of service if you're not fulfilling your notice period without any explanation. What is the imprisonment? Is up to 3 months or with fine or both. Right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Now, next is criminal trespass. What is trespass? Trespass means किसी की प्रॉपर्टी में, किसी की बाउंड्री में एंटर करना without even asking that person, without the person's consent. Let us see. So section 441 of IPC talks about criminal trespass. So trespass is also a civil offense, that is you can demand compensation for the same. So here, entering into or remaining unlawfully on property with the intent to commit an offense, intimidate, insult or annoy the person in such possession. Right? सबसे पहले तो यहाँ पे एक intention होना चाहिए to commit an offense. Second, intimidate or insult or annoy the person in possession. Right? This will amount to criminal trespass. What are the essentials here? Entry or unlawful remaining. Right? Intent to commit offense or annoy. Right? Now let's say there is a path in my house. Right? Let's say there is some religious procession in my house and all the people have gathered in my place. Now the procession is over and all the money which was collected in that procession is still kept there. So one of my neighbors, he thinks कि ये time सही है, अभी मैं थोड़ा time रुक जाता हूँ, I'll just take away all the money and I'll flee away from here. And I just noticed that with the intent of doing so, he is staying here in my place without even asking from me. I get caught of him and then I simply charge him for criminal trespass. Will it be a fit case of trespass? Yes, it will be a fit case of trespass. Right? So entering a rival's home to threaten them, even this will be a fit case of criminal trespass, because here you had the intent to commit an offense, that is to threaten the other person and to intimidate the other person or annoy the other person who is in possession of that place. Right? And what is the punishment? The punishment is given under section 447 of IPC and it is imprisonment for 3 years or fine with both. Right? Alright, so with this we have come to the end of this class as well. If you have any doubts, please comment down in the comment section below. Right? And if you do not solve the questions which I ask in the class, please make sure you look at the video again. If you don't get the questions, please look up after the questions and please do answer in the comment section below. right? I will be able to read your comments and I will be able to correct you at least, right? So with this I come to the end and I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.